Joining me now, one of the Democratic lawmakers who took part in that interview, Arizona Congresswoman Yasmin Ansari. Thanks so much for coming on the show. You spent hours inside that room. Questions for Pam Bondi. Did this move the investigation forward at all?
Thank you so much for having me. One, I will start by saying, yes, I do think it is moving the investigation forward, and I'll explain that. But I also want to be clear that Pam Bondi is not complying with the subpoena that was issued to her, which means that she should have been here today under oath, testifying in front of the American public with the video. What happened today is, what I believe we learned, is that Pam Bondi actually put a lot of the responsibility, actually all of the responsibility, on now acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. Any questions in regard to the processes for releasing any of the Epstein files, the decision-making about redactions or not redacting information, she put all of that on Todd Blanche, which of course we know is Donald Trump's former personal attorney. So to me, I think what this demonstrates is confirmation that there is a massive cover-up underway at the direction of Donald Trump, which Pam Bondi refused to answer any questions pertaining to the president.
So if it's being put on the shoulders of Todd Blanche, do you believe that there will be a subpoena issued to him? And would you have any expectations that he would be any more forthcoming than you think she was?
Well, that is our first step today. The Oversight Democrats are writing to Chairman Comer demanding that Todd Blanche and FBI Director Kash Patel be subpoenaed immediately. She also, Ms. Bondi also invoked Kash Patel's name multiple times because of, some of the FBI's role in all of this. Now, do I believe Todd Blanche will be forthcoming? No, I do not. I think every administration official in the Trump administration has lied over and over and over again. We had our Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, a couple of weeks ago. He was just lying through his teeth. I think Pam Bondi today, the fact that the Department of Justice senior officials like Harmeet Dillon were sitting by her side, whispering in her ear, telling her, in certain cases what to say or not say, that's weaponization of the Department of Justice at the hands of the president. There was no need for Department of Justice officials to be sitting in the room today when Pam Bondi herself is no longer a representative of the United States government. So the concerns remain, but here's the thing. We are not going to back down from this. I think Republicans maybe think people will get tired or move on. There's no moving on. I mean, the floodgates have opened. We are very serious about getting justice for the over 1,000 victims and making sure that anybody who was involved or enabled or perpetrated these crimes is actually and finally held accountable.
So understanding that, and we've heard this from many of the survivors who we've spoken to on this program, that they believe that the Democrats have been consistent, they have been pushing hard. But when you say there's no moving on, it seems as though, I think to a lot of casual observers out there, voters who may even support what you're doing, that not much is getting accomplished. By your own admission and others who were in that room, she did not comply with the subpoena. There is not a great expectation that other members of the administration would do it. You didn't even have other Republican members besides Chairman Comer even showing up. So if someone says to you, we understand that your motivation is good, but this is turning into a performance, what do you say to them? What are you getting out of this?
I would say a year ago, we wouldn't have in our wildest dreams thought that we would have any of the Epstein files released. Now, in the year 2026, we have half of the files released, and we do have a lot more information through these interviews that have been conducted, through the survivors who have come forward since all of this began, that we never had before. We know that many people were involved in these crimes, and while we're still fighting for the remainder of the files and for accountability, we have come a very long way. Now, all of that has been while we've been in the minority as well. So I think that's, the subpoenas that we've been able to issue, the fact that we've had, so many interviews already while being in the minority. The moment Democrats on the Oversight Committee are in the majority, you can rest assured that we will subpoena all of these individuals again. We will force them to come forward and testify under oath. We will actually one day have a Department of Justice that we will demand goes and investigates the people who were implicated in these crimes. This is really just the beginning. Survivors have been waiting decades for justice, and I understand and empathize so deeply with them on this. And it may take a little bit longer, but we've made a lot of progress. And again, this is really just the beginning of where the accountability will begin.
Congressman Yasamin Ansari, who was part of the group that was questioning her today, thank you so much for coming on and helping us understand what went on.